One other thing that I wanted to get your opinion on is a lot's been made of Masvidal taking the fight on short notice, but what goes on in the mind of the champion when the opponent 6 days prior is changed to a completely different style? So Usman's preparing for his teammate, Gilbert Burns. Now he's got Masvidal coming in very bad blood, whereas the build-up in the other one, it was very courteous, and now all of a sudden you've got bad blood, different style. What happens in Usman's camp to change up gears and get prepared?
I'm glad you brought that up because I remember when the Rangers, after, 50 years of not winning the Stanley Cup, whatever it was a lot of years. Ranger fans out there are going to go crazy. I'm talking about, yeah. I remember they won a game, and the terrific announcer, I'm trying to remember who it was, he was a good announcer. They won a game, and that meant that they could win the Stanley Cup in the next game. He said, "One more hill to climb." It was great. One more hill. That's another hill to climb when you're a fighter. And I'm so glad you brought this up because people don't give enough. We're all talking about Masvidal, and it's a heck of a thing he did to go in there on 6 days' notice. But it's a heck of a thing that Usman did too, to take on after preparing all that time for a specific style, to take on a new style. And not only a new style, a foreign, quite foreign, much different style than anyone else out there. That's the thing. This guy's not a conventional guy, Masvidal. He's special for a reason because he's got his own style. I called him Bruce Lee earlier. I mean, come on, how many Bruce Lees out there? So you're now going from fighting one style, preparing for one style for X amount of weeks, and now all of a sudden you got 6 days to fight a whole different style. And again, a guy who's not standard. A guy who's a completely, different deal than anyone else. So not enough credit has been given to, and he's such a low-key guy. You hear in the interview, he's such a well-mannered, low-key gentleman.
Yep.
That you even after the interview, you probably don't walk away not even thinking about it. Oh, well, he didn't scream about it. He didn't, He didn't
badmouth anybody.
He didn't stomp anyone's feet.
Not after the fight.
No. But, so it's not a big deal. No, it's a big deal. That's how upsets happen. In my business, a lot of upsets. And I would love to do a show one day where we could research a little bit. And you guys know how to use computers, really. I love to watch you guys on computers. You guys are good. I mean, like, really smooth, everything. We could research and see how many of some of these historic upsets have happened where an underdog came in on short notice and he was a prohibitive underdog.
Andy Ruiz.
There's one. There's right there. I knew you were more than just a good-looking guy who keeps himself slim and who eats athletic greens and whose hair stays beautiful. I knew you were more than that. You don't let me down. No, Andy Ruiz. I mean, there's a reason for those upsets. There's an element in there. Some of it is where you think it's an advantage the other way. Oh, the guy only got 6 days notice. Big disadvantage. But no, maybe big disadvantage for the guy who had full camp. Because now he's fighting somebody that he knows nothing about. He doesn't have time to really adjust his plan for that. And mentally, we're human. There's a let-up. I'm sorry, but there is. Oh, the guy, there's just a little something goes on. Maybe I shouldn't say a let-up, but sometimes it's a let-up. Sometimes it's something else. But whatever it is, it shouldn't be there.
Yeah.
And it conspires. It conspires to create this environment. For things to happen, you need an environment. To create this environment for an upset. I remember a guy named Andy Gannigan, if I remember. Sean O'Grady was the world champion. And Sean O'Grady, good commentator, he was a world champion. And I forget who he was supposed to fight. And the guy fell out. Literally, I think it was like a 24 hours or something, but really close. And he's fighting Andy Gannigan. Oh, okay, this is a freebie now,
Yeah.
Gets knocked out. I mean, again, so we don't give enough credit to Usman in this case of what he was dealing with, to have this kind of burden put on him, this extra burden put on him. We think all on the other side, all the disadvantage only on Masvidal. No, there's a disadvantage there, but there's a disadvantage in many ways to the guy that's had full camp and is accepting a guy, especially a guy of that ilk, of that level, on short notice.
And Usman made a great point after the fight. He said, look, I'm the champ. Everyone is subliminally preparing for me whether they like it or not. So if you don't have a fight scheduled, you better be looking at the champ. He's in his defense, to your point, he was like, it could have been anyone. It could have been Colby Covington. It ended up being Masvidal. So yeah, it was kudos to Usman for being able to adjust on the fly, same as with Masvidal taking on short notice. It
encapsulates a lot, Ken, to be a world champion. That word, champion. It's about your behavior, I believe, at least, how you conduct yourself as a man, as a person, outside, inside the ring, and the capacity to handle so many things, not just physical things, technical things, but mental things, adversity, controversy, things that are thrown at you. It's all part of being allowed to carry that title, champ, to be called champ. It's all part of it. And he showed it.